So when we last did a podcast, we spoke about what electricity rays does to the cells of our body, and which ends up creating like cancer. And so when we think that cancer is just part of life and it's hereditary, and if your parents have it, then you're likely to get it. That's all a lot of nonsense. It's based on thoughts and environment. If you're around an electricity pole or like a motorway where there's fumes everywhere, then you're going to turn your body into dis-ease because it's not, all this shit's not supposed to be in it. And you were saying how you live in Texas, out in the open. I can't remember whether you said you live by electricity poles or you don't. Did you say you did?
Yeah, we're going down a rabbit hole, aren't we? Like, man, I could talk about this topic like all day long. Yes. Yeah, there is a lot of energy going on around me. I know there's a 5G tower right over here and another one right over here that just went in. I have my mall less than a mile away from my house, and they have these giant antennas on top of the mall that are like directed right over my house. And my grandfather and I have been complaining about our ears ringing for the last three years or so. And I've always said it was from that antenna.
100%.
And as soon as I got back from England, those 5G towers were put up while I was gone. And my ears, the ringing in my ears has gone up exponentially. And it's crazy.
It's so silent that you cannot even hear it, but you can feel it. And when you go away, something feels different. Like when you go to England and you're in the country or whatever, something's different. It's a different sound. That constant ringing isn't there. It's almost like if you've got a light on, if I'm in the house by myself and I turn the light on, I can hear a. It's so quiet pitch that if I go up to say the plug socket, I can hear it. Imagine that all the time on a much higher frequency so that you can't hear it, but it's still there. You know, there was this thing, I can't remember what ambassador place it was, but it was a country where there was, say, a US embassy and say, I don't know,
in Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba. And people were saying, American ambassadors, whatever, were saying that they had massive headaches and they couldn't hear, right? And they think it was a sonic attack on the American people. So they were playing somehow through the walls or whatever, high-pitched frequencies, which were fucking up their brain and their body, basically. And it caused so much damage to them. Like, it put them in hospital and they couldn't even hear it. So it's possible for a frequency so high to be so damageable to your body that you can't hear it and you don't even know it's there. Like these 5G towers, you essentially got a microwave in your bedroom.
Yes.
Like 50 microwaves in your bedroom. So powerful you can't even hear the frequency, but it's doing such damage because it's a high frequency that it can penetrate, like the law of attraction can, a thought straight through the universe, the higher the frequency. That's scary shit.
Exactly. And here's one thing most people don't know about 5G is that the United States military has a patent on those same exact frequencies that are used in 5G for like group dispersals. So they can take these microwave emitters and they can put it on a group of riders and it starts heating up the molecules in their body to where they will disperse out of that area.
Are you having a laugh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that absolutely true?
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I can like find the link and I could send it to you.
That's fucking incredible. I mean, it's almost like if you start to feel sick, then you'll kind of stop eating that thing that makes you feel sick. Or if you start to feel a bit weird in an environment down a restaurant or a pub, you'd say it's bad vibes and you go. So you're saying that if there was riots in a town, they would submit this sonic vibration that you can't even see. It will make you feel so weird and sick that you'll disperse.
Yes.
It's fucking crazy, man. I mean,
I remember watching that on the History Channel when I was back in high school about that in production whenever they were like doing experiments on it. And whenever I looked into it, it was earlier this year. The range in the frequencies are the same frequencies that are in 5G.
See, that's crazy because this Cuban thing, as we said, these people were so damaged by this vibration so high, they didn't even know it's there. Just imagine what 5G towers, even Wi-Fi and 3G, not just 5G, but 3G, 4G, 5G, Wi-Fi, you know, light bulbs, They all have a frequency. Just imagine what all these energy vibrations are doing to a body that should only be vibrating at, say, 528 hertz, which is the same frequency as the Earth. All these other energies, it's interfering with our body, and no wonder half of the whole population gets the disease and dies of what's commonly known as cancer, which is the biggest disease that we die from. It's crazy. It's like it's all preventable, yet the lack of knowledge
Yeah, the
stops people from.
military did a study back in, I think it was the 50s or 60s, where they took soldiers and put them in a bunker, isolated away from the resonant frequencies of the earth.
Oh,
And
wow.
over time, these men pretty much like started going crazy.
Yeah,
And then they
sure.
reintroduced these frequencies, these grounding frequencies of the earth, and it brought them back to normal. So, I mean, if the whole population is enveloped in these other unnatural frequencies, then we're all pretty much losing ourselves, and we're losing the connection that we have with the world, with our
So
earth.
you may or may not know this, but back in World War Two, so you've got like the harmonious solfeggio scale. Say that word for me.
Yes. Uh, yeah. Good.
Solfeggio scale. So it's almost like on the piano, you've got, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, yeah, and like you've got
Mm-hmm.
the chakras, so they all go down in harmony from each other. Yeah. World War Two days, don't know whether who or what, but they every song was supposed to be every bit of music should be in harmony with those notes. And for example, they changed the song notes rather than C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C to say C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp. So they changed the frequency of, say, songs from, say, 432 to 452, right? That difference of music is the difference between being in harmony with that music or not. So in the war days, they now have songs playing in that disharmony, this dissonance, right? Everyone gets used to that music and that vibration and dissonance, that they use it to control the population, to control people, because it took them away from their perfectly in tune energy vibration. And then as time has gone by, songs have always been in that vibration, that kind of frequency. Imagine that most songs are written in C. Well,
Yeah.
most songs are written in C because it's just what has always been known. But if you go back in time to understand why songs were written in, for example, C, it's because that vibration was what was used to kind of create music. And it's something crazy like they changed the frequency from, say, 432 hertz to, say, 423 hertz, and it made the body in harmony with itself. So it starts to self-destruct, like the what you were saying. Everything is supposed to be in harmony, but you change that frequency slightly, it has the
Yeah.
ability to fuck up everything. Everything goes from being in harmony to not in harmony. And then the disease and the shit that happens from being not in harmony with yourself. And then you start to go crazy, like those, as you said, soldiers in the room. You played the harmonious frequencies and they balanced up again. But then they played all these other disharmonious frequencies and drove them crazy just by tweaking that vibration. And that's why heavy metal music and rock music and all this awful music, which you might have a disagreement on, is so bad for your body and your cells, because when you play that
Oh, for sure.
vibrations to water, as you know, you freeze the water and you see the molecules are just demonized, and then you put harmonious classical music to the water, freeze it, perfect crystal, perfect symmetrical crystal, and that's what it's doing to our body. Stuff that's disharmonious to us, it's making our cells just fucking deformed.
Yeah, exactly. I used to listen to like heavier rock music and stuff, and like the only rock music I'll listen to nowadays is Tool. That's probably really it. And I don't like much words in my music nowadays, but I can tell a difference now because one of my good friends that I work with, he likes to listen to that heavy, heavy metal. And I go work with him earlier in the mornings, about 2:33 in the mornings. So I'm just woken up out of bed. I'm really sensitive to these vibrations. And I get into his car and he has these like heavy metal music playing. And I'm like, dude, I can't do this, man. It's like
Drop you
putting
off at a
me in a
bus stop.
very low vibration. Yeah. Yeah, not good at all.
No, it's seriously like, just imagine what, say, how bad that heavy metal music makes you feel, right? You feel sick. Just imagine, say, a 5G tower next to you on all the time, penetrating to phones meters and meters and meters away, maybe miles, and yet you're fucking less than 100 meters by it. It's
Mm-hmm.
roasting the cells in your body, in people's bodies who live by towers. Like our body's supposed to vibrate at a certain frequency, and everything just grows like a plant. It will just divide, and so it would die and then divide and keep growing like a plant with sun and water. You give, you don't give your plant water and sun, it just sort of dies. If you don't give your body the vibration it needs to reproduce, it's going to become disharmony. And at ease, dis-ease, harmony, disharmony. It's like you play the C, D, E, F, G on the keyboard, and then you go to the minor notes where it's like C minor, D minor, E minor. It's slightly off. It's all the black notes. It's not in harmony. And yeah, it is. It's just the way the world's going, man. Like, even if you have a 5G phone, I'm not saying that I'm not going to have one because I don't know what the future holds, but just by having that phone in your bedroom means the tower is sending a charge to your house, and now there's 5G in your house. Um, the only way you can really do it is to airplane mode, and then it
Yeah.
won't go to you, which I believe that is a good solution, but um.
Yeah, I put my
I don't
phone
know.
in airplane mode every night before I go to bed.
There's videos on YouTube of like cities, when you see like the invisible frequencies from data. If you look like on YouTube, you type in a 3G rays in a city, there's like thousands of people, and you see the streams of coming off everyone's phone, all around everyone's head. The streams coming out the shops, all the towers going down into the city. It's like you've walked into Laser Quest. You know Laser Quest?
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
like you've gone into a laser quest with like say 50,000 people playing laser quest. There's beams everywhere. Even if it's not your phone, you're walking into the beam. I mean, I don't think we've had all this shit enough to really see the impact. It's like
No.
e-cigarettes. We haven't really seen what e-cigarettes do to our body. Like smoking, it was good and now it's really bad. We know that. E-cigarettes, you could even say like, opioids and synthetic um just whatever, man-made shit. It's just quite new. We've not seen the
Yeah.
effect, let alone of phones. And like 10 years ago, phones were just a shitty little Nokia. You had Snake on it, right? And my mum
Right.
used to say to me years ago
That I had
that,
in high school.
yeah, that little Snake phone, she used to say to you, it's really bad to put it by your ear.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine an iPhone these days. What that's doing to our ear, heating the cells in our ear, clumping the wax in our ear, causing
Mm-hmm.
tension in the brain, causing blood clots, causing fucking brain tumors, which is the clump cells. Really is
I,
bad,
I
man.
I always will put my phone on speaker. I will never put it up to my ear
Yeah, I
unless
do
like
that
there's
now.
something wrong with the phone and I have to put it up to my ear. I
Yeah.
hate doing that.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's a massive difference. Putting it on loudspeaker rather than putting it to your ear, and rather than laying it on your chest in bed, because you're
Mm-hmm.
fucking heating up your heart, right? I don't do that anymore. Put it on the side. I mean, even like Bluetooth earphones, like 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 these, the sound vibrations. I notice when I do podcasts, I've got such wax in my ear just from you speaking. Your deep grizzly bear voice goes through my earphones, right? And I've got wax shit. But think about Bluetooth earphones. It's not just sound, it's the vibrations of EMF as well. And I
Yes.
used to get clumpy wax in my ears just through AirPods.
Like
Crazy.
I have an old friend. We've known each other for like over almost 30 years. And about 8 years ago, 8 years ago, my ears were starting to ring and she's like, "You have those Bluetooth headphones, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Stop wearing them." I was like, "Okay." But now those Bluetooth, it's almost become so ingrained, it's almost like second nature. But yeah, I only have corded headphones now. So I did lose. I will admit, I did have a nice Bluetooth headphones that I did like have it around because they are just so convenient, especially when you're out in public. But I lost them in, I think, the London airport, so it's okay.
Yeah, man. It's like my friend
But
the other day was saying how she wants a phone that has radio via FM rather than an app because she doesn't want to have to use data. And I was like, fortunately, that doesn't exist on your phone. If you want that, you're gonna have to get like a shitty phone from a shitty shop for like five
yeah,
quid and then use the aerials as the antenna. But everything goes back around just like vinyl. So like vintage shit, it always comes back around. There will be like phones coming out where you can have a radio without data.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing like different phones that you can attach all these different attachments on and have different things. That's pretty cool. So I'm a pretty, as much as against technology I am, I like watching a bunch of tech stuff. It's very, I guess, counterintuitive, almost hypocritical.
What have you been working out lately in your mind? What are you trying to understand lately?
So I guess what I have been doing lately, getting back from Wealth Yogi, going from having that community and such like-minded group of people, and then coming back home to almost isolation, man, it's been challenging, I'll say. Like the first month I got back was like almost straight depression. It's like, man, I'm back home alone. What am I doing? And I have to, and what Master told me, he's like, the only thing that's going to help you stay focused is sticking with your yoga and doing downward dog in your meditation. Otherwise, you're going to be getting pulled in all these other different directions by other people's energy, which I admittedly have been doing. But I've been getting back into my yoga and my meditation, and it has been helping me like tremendously. And I've been getting back in contact with other wealth yogis and starting other projects. So getting back into like the cancer. Another thing that I learned earlier this week that can cause us cancer, and even um, our cleaning supplies that we clean our house with. So they say cleanliness is next to godliness, but what if the cleaning supplies that we're using are making our home more toxic than it was before we started cleaning? So it has been shown that cleaning our houses with regular normal cleaning supplies once a week is comparable to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know that. My grandma, she is like always cleans the house and she uses Tide detergent. Like one of the first questions I was asked was, do you know anybody who uses Tide detergent? I was like, yes, my grandma does. And she's like, does your family have any breathing difficulties? I was like, my grandfather has really bad breathing difficulties. And I was like, he blames it on the cat, but I don't believe it's the cat. I think it's something else. And she's like, it's probably all the cleaning supplies that you're cleaning your house with that you're just breathing all that toxic fumes in, and it's getting in your lungs and tearing everything up. I was like, oh, okay. So I've thrown all of our cleaning supplies out, and I bought brand new cleaning supplies from this other company that makes natural, earth-friendly products that are so safe that they don't have child-proof caps on their products. They're so safe that a child can like ingest it and not have to be taken to the hospital. So
Yeah, man, it's
great
it,
stuff.
it does drive me crazy. I don't wash with products. I just use water. When I have a shit, I do not wipe my ass. I go straight in that shower. I will not shit unless I can have a shower. It's not necessary to use toilet roll, use product. Just use water. It's what nature has always had and will always will have. When I used to have long hair, I used to wash it every like 3 months, just because the pressure of having greasy hair around people just became too much that you just need to reset. I don't believe in products. I don't believe in soap. I don't believe in hair shampoo. I don't believe in any man-made shit. It's all about business and compensating for something nature already has to offer. Yeah. So it's
True.
like the cleaning products, the natural stuff that you found. Well, all
Mm-hmm.
this man-made shit, well, that is saying that was never necessary in the first place. Because if you've got this natural shit that a child can have, well, why couldn't you have had that natural shit before? And then you think, wow,
Uh,
everything.
Cost. It was cheaper to use synthetic chemicals than to get extract from natural products. That was the basis of it.
And what is also crazy is that we follow guidelines, government guidelines, and guidelines of this and that, and everything ends up being, oh, it's really bad for you in the end. So what does that say?
Right?
No matter what
It's all
you what
it's all just a giant 30, 50-year experiments, and then we figure out, oh, it's bad for you, and then these companies have to pay out these
yeah,
damages. It's like, man,
absolutely. It's like, did you rub Johnson and Johnson's oil on your pussy 20 years ago? If you've got cervical cancer, you might be eligible for a claim And you've got this lady like, when I was 17, I used to rub my pussy with Johnson's oil and I got cancer on my noo-noo. I want to sue. And then it's the same for
I
everything.
mean, speaking of Johnson and Johnson, I mean, they just had a $4.4 billion lawsuit in 2018 they had to pay out for their baby powder
That's what I'm saying.
having
Baby powder, yeah.
asbestos in their baby powder. It's like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
And it's like, what do you expect if you rub your vagina with a man-made chemical? Like, it's man-made. You cannot get over that. Or what do you expect? You're letting your body absorb man-made chemical. Like when you marinate a bit of chicken, right, or a steak, what happens? It it absorbs into the muscle of the steak. We are no different to that chicken or that steak. If you put oil, creams on your skin, it's going to absorb it. Well, at school, they say don't draw on yourself. They say don't draw a pen on you because your body will absorb it. And I'm like, oh, it's nonsense. But now I understand that that really is, it's powerful. If you put all these creams and oils and stuff like that, what do you expect to happen? Your body's going to react. If you weren't born with it, your body's going to try and fight it like a flu, or it's going to be like, give me more.
Exactly. Like being a mechanic and working on cars, before I was woke, so to speak, I would spray my hands and clean them off with this B12 chemical, which was like carburetor cleaner for the cars. And it would just like get all that oil and stuff off your hands so easy. And I was out working on my car and I had all that stuff on my hands and I hadn't done it in a while. So I cleaned off my hands with that B12 chemical. And about 10 minutes later, I felt sick. I had to go lay down. I was lightheaded, my stomach, I felt nauseous. I was like, it was spraying that stuff on my hands. I've become so sensitive to it. I went and washed my hands and made sure it was all off. And about 30 minutes later, I started feeling better. But I was like, okay, no more cleaning my hands with all that chemical stuff. I just absorbed it all.
It's true. My dad used to always give me white spirit to get off paint. Right, white spirit is to, I don't know, it's some kind of powerful fucking petrochemical. And he used to like
mine
just,
gave me gasoline. So
yeah, it's like just put it on because it does get it off. And then you smell your hand and you still can't get the smell away. And it's like if when you drink water, it goes into your stomach and your body absorbs it. Okay. If you put white spirit or petrol on your skin, it's going to absorb it just like your stomach absorbs water. Then what happens is it sends that white spirit round your body, gives your organs all this chemical petrol bollocks. What do you expect to happen? You know how cocaine's made? Cocoa leaves, petrol, battery acid. You seen how it's made, right? He's literally pouring fucking petrol onto the leaves, mixing it around. That's what the high is. You would never touch petrol, let alone sniff it, but yet you don't understand how cocaine's made. So you sniff it. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, they either use cocaine or gasoline or diesel. And it's like, oh, man.
Battery acid. Jesus Christ. We were told when we were a kid, don't touch a battery with your tongue and all that shit. And yet, these days everyone's just sniffing cocaine and it's literally you're pouring battery acid that you put in batteries. I mean, even cigarettes, the chemicals, ant killer and all that nonsense that it's laughable because you can't change it because it's just the way it is. But when you want to like help the world and you realize you can't, you have to laugh because you're gonna fucking cry because you're part of the problem. Like we can't get away from everything because you might as well just become a monk if you're not going to be part of society.
Yeah, it's very true.
And when you went to Wealth Yogi, I would call that a high, a human high. That's not normal. You don't just come across a group of people that are all the same as you. I don't have anyone like you and myself around me at all, apart from online. And I can't just move to America and then move to Canada because they're all over the place, not just in one place. That's just the way it is. So when you
go ahead, man.
That's why the meditation and the yogi, which you do by yourself, grounds you.
Yes.
Well, it's so important to do it, and you only realize how badly you need it when you don't do it. So if I stop meditating, I get agitated. If I don't go for walks, I get agitated. And by walking and meditating, you're balanced, and you only realize when you stop doing something like that that's why I was agitated. So Master is right. Meditation, yogi, it's the drug of fucking sanity, literally in this life anyway.
and we can feel that agitation, and it can just be this little bit of agitation, and we don't do anything about it for so long until it builds up and builds up until it boils over, and it starts creating like chronic problems within the body. And it reminds me of a story, just a little short story about this man. He had this dog, and it was always whimpering, and his neighbor came over, and he's like, "What's wrong with your dog?" And he's like, "Well, he's sitting on a nail." He's like, "Apparently it doesn't hurt bad enough for it to get up, but it hurts bad enough for him to complain about it." So, I mean, it has to like hurt bad enough in your life. You have to have that reason, that drive to like get out of your comfort zone and
Yes.
push yourself to do something. Because if you're stuck in your life and you're uncomfortable and you're miserable, but you don't have that reason to get out and do something, you're going to continue to just stay there and be uncomfortable and miserable. So like having yourself surrounded, even if it is virtually, like Master says, your tribe is your vibe. That have those people around you that help lift you up and motivate you into that direction that we're all trying to get towards. So,
You know, when we dream, we feel like we're there. So our body can orgasm in our brain, and you've not even got an erect cock. That says how powerful the brain is. So I'm having this conversation with you. You're stimulating nerve cells and neurons that I would only be able to have stimulated by somebody being here physically. So it doesn't matter that you're 50 billion miles away, because the outcome's the same. If I was having a chat with you, my eyes closed in my room, and having a chat with you with my eyes closed here, I can hear you. You're stimulating the same neurons in my brain. So it doesn't matter the fact you're not here physically, because as you know, there's no such thing as time. Quantum entanglement, everything is just one. The distance doesn't have any relevance. It's just connected. So whether I'm speaking to you billions of miles away or you're in my room, we're on that wavelength, which stimulates my body, which is the purpose of being around like-minded people. So it's not convenient that I can't, touch you and smell you, but it's still doing the same thing because I'm in my brain getting that stimulation of my own brain activity because I'm putting out what I want to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, most certainly helps. That was like one of my reasons. You were like, "Hey, you want to come back on the podcast?" And I was like, "Man, I've been sitting here kind of in isolation, not talking to anybody." I was like, "Yeah, I think that would be very good for me. I need to get out and talk to some like-minded people and get some ideas out there that I haven't really been able to talk to anybody around here because they're all just like closed-minded, off doing their own thing, which makes me in turn kind of be closed-minded to everyone else and do my own thing, which kind of is counterproductive to everything that I'm trying to do in the first place. So I have to just stay open-minded and listen to other people, even if it's not exactly what I am like agreeing to, or what is the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it isn't necessarily something I agree with, but I am listening to them. I'm getting their opinion, getting their perspective, and respect that, and then move on with my own life, and not just isolating myself from people just because I don't want to deal with them. And
So
that's the way I've kind of always done things.
you live with your girlfriend, right?
No, I actually am single. So I am living pretty much by myself. I live with my grandparents off and on. They have a cabin in Colorado. So that's about 700 miles away. And they stay there half of the year. So the other half of the year, I'm staying here and watch their house. Me and my cat just chilling.
See, this is the thing. It's very tricky because if you are exposed to something at an early age, then you know it exists and you want it, right? If you know the ice cream van's around the corner, you're going to want an ice cream. If you don't know what an ice cream van is, then it doesn't exist. If you're online looking at all these like-minded people and you start to study that, your brain's going to become that, and you're going to become out of balance with the people around you who are just happy to go to work, fix cars, cut down trees, and have a beer and whatever. Yeah. So once you have that mindset, you're never going to be that person again. It's like once you
Yes.
grow a third leg, you can't have two anymore. So your situation, there's only a few outcomes. You stay where you are, you communicate online and do like podcasting like this. You don't have to put it online, but reach out to people and just Skype with them. All of the people you do yogi with, they know you. You're their friend for life. Reach out, have a conversation with them, as I said, when I do podcasts, I feel so amazing afterwards, right? Because of the stuff we've spoken about. But if you want to put it online, then that's just a reason to keep speaking to these people because you
Very
feel
true.
like you've got to put stuff out for people. But really, it's about the conversation between you and somebody else. Or you have to pick your ass up and move to a place where you're with like-minded people. So the fact you're single is perfect. The fact that your grandparents, you might need to be around for them, that's not perfect. So you've got things that say could hold you back. But if you have the ability to move, find a place where there's like-minded people. I don't know where in America it is. Might be California, Florida. I don't know where these, let's just say, yogi people hang out, right? But if you have a job and you can pay the rent, it's no different to being here and paying the rent and having a job. It's no different. You know, the pay might be more in California, but the rent's more. Your wage might be less here, but your rent's less. So it's all in ratio. And
Hmm.
really, there is no other choice. Once you become to a level of awareness, you either hang around those vibrations or you suffer inside, wishing that you were this, had this energy. I was the same. Um, so there for you, there's two paths. Online, reach out, stay where you are, or physically move to this lifestyle. And it doesn't have to be America. You can go to Norway, go to France, go to Belgium, go to Sweden, Iceland, right? Just go in a place where there's more like-minded people. Like, you know, is there yoga classes where you are or meditation classes? Like, where's the nearest yoga kind of gym that does yoga, like Virgin Active that does yoga stuff and classes, Pilates and
Yeah, around here there's not much. I just started teaching a friend and her family some yoga, and we did a little meditation this last week. And so I'm starting to like do my own teaching here. And there is a where my father lives. He lives and he has about 70 acres
oh
down.
wow.
Have you heard of Austin, Texas?
Of course I've heard of Austin, Texas. You fucking
So
crazy, man.
he's got about 70 acres down in Austin, Texas,
Wow.
and he told me to just come down and we can build a house somewhere on the land. It runs down next to the river. It's really
Oh,
nice.
wicked. Yeah, you
And
could, yeah, build a yoga studio and teach people virtually.
exactly, he's just like, all you have to do is come down here and help me farm the land. I was like, all right, I'll get on the tractor and mow the hay.
No,
I'll
but
do that.
seriously,
That's
like
relaxing.
having a purpose and doing that in nature is already something more powerful than yoga and meditation because that's all to compensate this material life. Where if you're cutting the grass in nature, that's all humans have ever had. And then you could build a farmhouse cabin, do online virtual yoga. Don't charge initially, but as you build up, people
Hmm.
start charging. And just like put your laptop on the wall, get a yoga mat and record it and just a Zoom call, like with Wealth Yogi shit. That's all you were doing anyway. For like you in your house, 50 people on the screen, apart from you're doing yoga. And then people get to know your routines and they love it. That you start paying them, charging them £5 a session or whatever you want to do, man. You got to
Yeah.
create. If it's not there, you got to create it.
So yeah, one thing I've been doing is so I have a driving simulator. And I've been following this one guy on YouTube who does driving his simulator online, and he has about 100,000 followers. And I've like seen his like residual income from the videos he makes, and I'm like, wow, he's actually making a pretty decent living just doing something he already loves doing. And I had a buddy who gave me a webcam for my main desktop computer, and so I've started like recording racing and stuff so I can like upload to YouTube for that. And then I have my own car that I've started like working on again and working on like recording myself changing parts and repairing my car and how-to videos on how to do certain parts on my car. So definitely have been getting on trying to get onto YouTube and start getting consistent and making videos there because I've just seen how much residual income people can make if they are consistent on that platform.
Consistency is the key to anything. Like you could literally play Call of Duty, FIFA, racing on your laptop, screen record that, upload to YouTube, people watch it. It's fucking
Mm-hmm.
crazy, right? And don't forget, there's billions of kids who are obsessed with Call of Duty and Modern Warfare and all those other bollocks, stupid games. People just watch it and 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 watch it. Views, 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 views.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, my buddy who gave me the webcam, he's a big tech guy, so he pretty much gave me a pretty nice gaming computer for free. He was at work, he had all these spare parts from PCs he was working on at work, and he's like, "Hey, I have all these parts. You want them to build a PC?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So it just kind of like snowballed one thing into another. I've learned how to build computers. I've learned how the in and outs of like how to diagnose problems, and that's been really fun. It's almost like working on a car, just smaller form factor. So I've enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah. If what you have isn't there, you got to create it. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no other option because what you have is being created by somebody else. So you either live his fantasy or create your own.
Yeah. So my outlook right now, my path. So my father has bought a lot of manufacturing equipment to start making stuff, and with my welding background and fabrication background, we were going to go down there, and I was going to start building parts for cars. My buddy has off-road vehicle, so we're going to use his car as a template and then just market everything online that we build. And that was going to be another source of income that we were going to try and create. So always trying to find like different ways to have some source of income. Like as they say, if you're going to be investing in stocks, you want to diversify your stocks. You don't want to just throw all your money into one thing. So that's kind of way I'm looking at all of my different projects right now. I have the stuff I want to work on with my father. I have another project I'm working on with Wealth Yogis. I have another project that I'm working on with a really close friend. So I have multiple projects that are potential sources of revenue that are passive income in the future. So it just takes a creative, open mind to like source out what is the possibilities.
What projects are you working on with the Wealth Yogis, if you can say?
So, I mean, I was talking about earlier, we're just promoting a company called Melanuka. It is that company that creates the natural products, the environmentally friendly, non-toxic cleaning products,
Oh, okay.
and they have like shampoos, soaps, all of your normal household products that you normally use. They have all of those in a non-toxic form. And they also have like food and supplements that are made from high quality organic um, products. So yeah, I just was completely on board with their message, and I had another wealth yogi share it with me earlier this week. I was like, yeah, I'm on board. Let's share this message with people and get them aware about what they're doing with their health, about cleaning their house every day with these cleaning products. Because I mean, if we can just improve people's health by changing the products that they clean with, and then that can be a big impact with people's health around the country and around the world. So, I mean, if it can take out people's asthma, I mean, there's so many children with asthma nowadays. What if it's because you're constantly cleaning your house because you don't want your child to get
It is
sick?
because of that. 100%. That's
So,
what's so fucked. It's the problem. The solution is the problem. You
yep,
know,
you're a
every
clean freak and you're poisoning your child with all the nauseous, toxic fumes you're using to clean the house.
yeah, making your
It's
child
sad.
fucking like vegan, gluten free, dairy free before he's even had a nut, and his body doesn't even know what a nut is. So now he has a nut, so he smells a nut, and he fucking dies. Okay, and I mean, get like kids can't play mud anymore in case they get a bit of mud in their nail, and then they get worms or some shit like that. It's so against nature.
I
Everything
love a
fucking
I love a good mud bath, man. Just putting mud on your skin and let it.
right. I'm really tired because I've done three today. Let's wrap this up. Plug anything you want to plug. Websites, Instagram, whatever you're working
So
on right
what
now.
I'm gonna plug in is if anybody is interested in about any learning more about the products, the natural products from Melanuka, they could contact me on Facebook. Timothy Burton Stovall, y'all can find me on Facebook and message me there, and I will send y'all more information about these natural, just amazing products that can potentially change your life and your health and possibly financially. So that's what I'm plugging in right now. So Melanuka, they've been around for 35 years, trusted, never have paid out a single dime in
Not yet.
so it's
not
really
not
good stuff.
not yet.
No.
Right, I'm gonna stop that there. Wait there.